Warning, warning. This is a global ice out. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing the left speaker. Left. Sound successfully recovered. Swan Commander. Connected. And now, the countdown has begun. And now, are you ready for a journey that goes beyond the norms? The Federal Prospects Hockey League just celebrated its 15th anniversary. With a footprint and fan base rapidly expanding, Swan Hockey is now bringing you behind the scenes. Beyond what you see at games. Beyond the arenas. Beyond the crowds. This is FPHL, Beyond the Glass.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of FPHL, Beyond the Glass. I'm your host, Eric Swanek, Swan Commander on social media. We got a little bit of a different episode for you today. Before we do, let's want to talk about a couple changes. We have opened up the comments on YouTube for this podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube, the comments are now open. Feel free to comment. We're keeping the channel in the Discord. I realize that, Discord may be a little bit, I don't want to say intimidating, but it, new to a lot of people. So it might lead to some intimidation. So we still have the Discord and everything, but we're opening up the comments here on YouTube. And we also created an FPHL Beyond the Glass Facebook group. So feel free to join that. Again, the Discord is still there. The Discord is going to be a much bigger, more immersive experience. There's a lot that we can do with Discord that we can't do with other platforms. They just don't have the capabilities, and we have the Discord tied into our Swan Hockey Digital experience. So anybody that's participating in Swan Hockey Digital, you're definitely going to want to, join the Discord and, stay up to date there and, participate in that. And speaking of Swan Hockey Digital, pay attention to the inventories on your dashboard. If you are participating in season pass rewards, you may just receive a special Halloween airdrop gift. This Halloween may or may not have season pass points attached to it. All you have to do to be eligible to receive that airdrop is be opted in and participating in season pass. As long as you've reached level 1 of season pass, which all it takes to do that is to just opt in and claim the tier 1 reward, the first reward, and you'll have enough points to do that simply by opting in. As long as you claim that first reward, you will be eligible to receive the special Halloween airdrop. For any help with Swan Hockey Digital or season pass rewards, join the Discord and see the support channel. And if you're participating in season pass rewards, our free rewards program, we are full steam ahead now with the new way of doing our streaming rewards for watching or listening to Swan Hockey podcasts. You can now get the reward points for watching or listening, for streaming these anytime. It's not just the latest episode anymore. You can stream any episode anytime and get the reward points. For more information on how to do that and to set that up, just visit swanhockey.io. You can also join the Discord server to get assistance. And let's head into it. A little bit of a different look for this episode. So Dave Jackson is not with us this week. He had to do the NHL Frozen Frenzy on ESPN. So he had a long day, there with ESPN. For anybody that doesn't know, Dave is currently the NHL rules analyst for ESPN. If you watch NHL hockey, you've probably seen him, heard him, and not even realized that it's the same guy. So Dave should be back next week. And this episode, we're going to be joined by Danbury Hat's general manager, AJ Galante. He picked up his first 2 wins as a GM in the FPHL with Danbury this weekend over Indiana. So we're going to be joined by AJ now. Let's head over. AJ, what's going on, man? Welcome back.
Love it, man. Happy to be here. Thanks. How's everything? Good?
Yeah, everything's great here. How about you? How's everything on your end?
Good, good. It's like, you have a good weekend and your whole week is set up for you're happy for a few days and then it's back on the grind. So, yeah, everything's been good over here.
Yeah, sports is definitely such a, or it can be an emotional roller coaster. It's yeah, like like just like we tell the players, right? Like, keep it in check, don't get too high, don't get too low. But yeah, it's such a roller coaster with everything, and especially at these levels with everything else going on and everything, a lot of extracurricular. Yeah, it could be challenging.
No, it's true. Even, I'm actually in my boxing gym now and it's the same thing with the fighters. It's like whether you win or lose, we have like kind of like a 24-hour rule, you know what I mean? And then it's old news, man. You just got to move forward and you can't rest on your laurels or get too comfortable and just you got to trek ahead.
Yeah, because like we say you're only as good as your last game. I guess it's the same for that. Like you're only as good as your last fight.
Oh yeah. No, and it's true and guys, boxing is a little different because the fights are few and far between for these guys. They don't fight every weekend, right? So it's like is such a like it's such an adrenaline rush and then like a crash whether you win or lose and it's like it's different managing those personalities where hockey at least in our level no matter what happens you're kind of back at it the next weekend which is good and it's good one way or the other. It keeps things really flowing.
Yeah, I never thought about that with boxing. Like where hockey, for better or for worse, the next opportunity is kind of, a few days away. We always tell the guys short memory. Boxing, I guess that's got to be a little bit harder because it just kind of like can stew with you. Because how long would you say is the average between fights? Like months, right? Like, so.
I mean, I would say a guy just starting out, if you have the right promotion behind you, if you have the right team around you, it could be, it could be every other month because you're only fighting 4-round fights to start, really. You know
Okay.
what I mean? But the
Yeah.
guys that are, I mean, we have established guys here in Danbury that 3 times a year, maybe it's like quarterly taxes. If you get, listen, if you get 4 fights a year, that's a busy year for most boxers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because, just the training, like these training camps are so demanding that it's like you realistically can't compete like regularly. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's like you said, man. It's like it's kind of like you put so much eggs in one basket, and then you get to the fight, win, lose, or draw. It's like no matter what goes down, like you'll be up, like you won't sleep the next 1-2 days, and then it's like the crash, and then it's like you got to get these guys motivated again. But it's like there's no schedule, right? So it's not like you don't know when you're fighting again. So it's really dependent on your team. So both boxing and hockey, there's similarities, but a lot of differences, and pros and cons to both, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you just really got to be so mentally strong because if something doesn't go your way in a fight, it's a
Oh,
long period of time before you get that opportunity to redeem yourself, or to get,
it's almost like let's say a team had to put their third goaltender in and he had a bad night. That could be doom for them. You know what I mean? Where it's the same thing every fight for a boxer because the fights are few and far between. You have an off night. I mean, our team has been managing and working with fighters 15 years now. And it's like, I've seen some of the best training camps, 6 to 8 weeks. Guy looks great, sparring great sparring, healthy, no injuries, everything's going perfect. And then he just wakes up that day, has a headache, has a migraine's not feeling good, and
yeah.
it's like it's like at least like in baseball, it's like every 5 days a pitcher can pitch again. You know what I mean? Where boxing, it's like if you lay an egg, it's devastating. You know what I mean? And you just like you said, just mentally, like kids have to be like the mental toughness means so much more than the physical toughness. It's really true. You got to be able to get over those tougher times.
Yeah, and then what's interesting too is like hockey, you're not really going to lose a game off of one play. Where boxing, you could be having a great, punch catches you right. Just one punch can end the fight or win the fight. Like,
Yeah, I really I really compare a lot of boxing to goalies. Like, even though a goalie's on the ice with his teammates, it's kind of like the goaltender position is so magnetized, right? It's
Yeah.
like, they just, a lot of people just stat watch and they say, oh, Eric let in 5 goals this game, but they don't realize that 4 of those goals were 5-on-3 power plays or breakaways, or the defense left them out to dry. So it's so tough. Like, even though a goalie in hockey is, part of a team, they're kind of on their own island there. And a bad night for a lot of people who don't know how to manage that stuff, and they panic and they want to move them or waive them or trade them. You got to give guys time to you got to see the whole picture.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such a balance with goalies too. Cause like to your point, on the one end, to your point, you have where, okay, what types of goals is he giving up? What's the situation? Like, do we have a good, a really high end goalie here that's just in a very tough situation? But then on the other end of the spectrum, it's like, okay, we still need somebody that could block the puck. Like, even if we don't have the back end right now, or we're giving up more shots than we want, or we're taking more penalties, we're still not going to win giving up 5 goals. We need to get somebody that can make the tough saves, somebody that can, stop the ones that he's not supposed to stop. So it's like such a unique balance with that position, to your point.
I mean, you hit it on the head, and what makes it so intriguing at this league, like in this level, um, again, this is entry level pro. It's high level hockey, but it's entry level. So a lot of young a lot of defense in this league, they're not, not everyone's Bobby Orr out there, right? So it's like, you got to really concentrate. You got to really, a lot of people, they just really stat watch with the goalies. They don't really do a lot of film. This past weekend, we faced Indiana. We faced Anton Baratkin, who was a really good goalie. We just had we just had a good day. We had 2 good days against him. He may not have had the defense in front of him that he did last year in like Watertown. You know what I mean? So, if you're just a casual fan or a stat watcher or a lazy GM and you don't really watch, you don't really, you know what I mean? It's kind of so easy to just, kind of write a guy off. You know what I mean? It's, you get a couple, I remember our opening weekend, Frankie McClendon for us, kind of a cheap goal, nothing he could do about it, but it goes against him. You know what I mean? It's like in baseball, you get a hit, it could be like a little dribbler down the line, or it could be a off the wall. A hit is a hit, but you got to really pay attention.
Yeah, a guy hits the foul pole, grand slam home run versus 6 inches the other way, strike 2, right? Like,
it's all a game. It's every game, every sport. It's just these little intricate things. It's just you really gotta do your homework.
Yeah, and I saw you guys just picked up a new goaltender.
Yeah, so again, me, Coach John, and MJ, we all have kind of the same philosophy, right? It's like we've worked so hard during the off season. You put together the best, group of guys you can put together for the opening night, but it's still like, the first few weeks is really dress rehearsals. You know what I mean? Like it's that's why I don't get too high or low right away in the beginning of a season, because
Yeah, you can't.
there's still it's a dress rehearsal, and you bring in guys. There was guys that started the year at like a East Coast or an SP camp, and they're not available. Then all of a sudden they're available. It's so intriguing. Like, you have to have plan A to Z. You know what I mean? And yeah, we picked up this kid Sebastian Reeser. He's from Toronto. He played in U Sports last year. Doesn't have stats that like pop out on you, but when you see this kid, it's like, man, did we just uncover a hidden gem here? And Christian Juan Ramos, same thing, started the year. Oh God, was it Fayetteville? He started in a camp, numbers game, got waived, and we like I said, we're just trying to find, my job is really to find what's the best for us today and tomorrow, right? So it's like, you got to think, I know it sounds crazy, you got to think for the next season. Is this a guy we could groom for next year, or so there's so many different aspects of it. But yeah, really excited. but again, that was last weekend. We got a big test this coming weekend, and I think it's going to be a really good barometer for where we are with our roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a tough, I guess unique maybe is a better word. And it's tough too, but like unique is probably the better word, being a GM or a coach in minor league hockey, because it's, especially at this level where guys could be going up at any time. And it's, there's just so much movement. So it's like, you want to put the best team together, but then to your point, you got to be looking down the road. It's like, okay, we have an opportunity to get this guy, and maybe he's a slight upgrade over what we currently have, but he's much more appealing to the next level. So if we do get him, do we want to cut the guy that's probably going to be here all year to bring in something that's a little bit better that in 2 weeks is probably going to get called up anyway? Right? There's just so many moving parts.
It's so, the difference between now and like 20 years ago when we had the Trashers was the league we were in, was genuinely considered on par with the East Coast Hockey League, right?
Yes.
So to be honest, there was obviously competition. Guys could go here, but if you made it to the United Hockey League, not a lot of guys were looking to go up. You know what I mean? Or and frankly, I'll be honest with you, Eric, like no disrespect. I don't look, this might cause a stir, but I don't look at the SPHL as I don't look at that as a call up. You know what I mean? The East Coast Hockey League to me is a call up, or the American Hockey League. But, guys in this league, like you said, there's so many different options. Even Europe, a lot of European teams making plays for guys. And you're right. There's just so many things to consider. Like you said, like, yeah, this guy is better, but is he going to get called up? And we have a rule. We'll never hold a guy back, right? Like me, John, MJ, we say to the guy, look, if we get a call for you, we let you have the option. We're not going to hide it from you. We're not going to tell you no. We want guys to prosper. And the salary cap, it's like, better talent costs more money. It's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. But I love it, man. I love the hunt. I love the chase. And it's very, very challenging. It's way more challenging than 20 years ago for a lot of different reasons. And I love it. It's, something to prove.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too. I mean, like obviously, and first off, congratulations on the first 2 wins in this league as a GM. I'm sure it's nice to get those under your belt. How's it been going? Like obviously we spoke over the summer and everything. Now that you're, what are we about almost a month in?
Yeah, just about a month in.
Yeah, which seems crazy. How's it been? How's the ride been?
Man, we have a special thing. And I know that sounds cliche. Everybody kind of says the same thing, but this is my first year, at the helm, as a GM, but the hat tricks, what's going on with this team is, the hat tricks who've been around a few years now, a lot of the old guard is gone kind of, like a lot of the players have, been around. So there's only, coach, Captain Johnny Ruiz is still here. There's only a few guys left from what I call the old guard. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean we're kind of in a transitional phase as an organization, but also we're looking to compete because a lot of people, when they hear the word, oh, we're in a transitional phase, a lot of people take that as, we're laying down, but we're not. We're going for it all. And I mean, Coach John Bershin has been like a blessing for this organization. Assistant coach MJ Merkel. I mean, us as a trio, we really work well. And that's exactly it, is like, most coaches in this league are also the GMs, right? So, we kind of did things backwards here, like typical Danbury fashion, where I got hired as a GM, and we had a coach initially, but it ended up not working out, and John came in after the fact, and I was a little nervous. I'm like, I don't know, John's young, trying to prove himself too. Like, are we gonna gel? How are the philosophies? And I think, knock on wood, everything's, from a philosophy standpoint, we all want the same things. We all kind of let each other do our thing. We all, the communication's great. And I love our team. It didn't start out hot, 0-4 to start. I mean, granted, it was Port Huron and Binghamton, who I consider probably the two teams to chase in our division, but we're right there. We went toe to toe with both those teams the first 2 weekends, which just we petered out. But our roster each week is getting better and better. Little tweaks here, little tweaks there, and I'm excited. I love this team. We got a lot of young guys that I think are, we got this young kid, Alex Ledkoff, who had a hat trick this past Sunday. He really broke out this past weekend. I'm really excited about him. We got young guys that are going to help us now, but also in the future, which is good. And just keep pushing. Like I said, this weekend I really believe is going to be a huge barometer for us. We're facing Watertown. I think we may be up a point or two on them, but we're both hungry teams that didn't start off hot, and I know they're coming here hungry. So it's going to be a really it's going to be a good test for us.
It's going to be a great series.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a series to watch because I think Watertown. Obviously, I feel like they're overlooked as well, and they got some good pieces, good coach, and they play us tough when they're on the road. So it's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, and they have a tough schedule too. Like they probably they play Binghamton a lot. I'm sure you guys have to. Do you guys play them as much as they do? It's gotta be close. If you're not,
I think so. Yeah, I mean it's I believe our division is. I know a lot of the concentration goes to the South because there's so many talented teams in the South. PD, Athens. I mean, Athens looks unreal right now. You got Monroe. But I tell you, our division, man. At the end of the day, Binghamton is the defending champs, right? So it's like they got a squad. Port Huron, they got a squad. I believe we do too. But Watertown is overlooked. Blue Ridge is overlooked. I tell people, Blue Ridge is grossly overlooked, and they got a really good team. So we got I know Indiana is going through a transition. They just got a new coach and GM. So you know what? Those games against Indy are just as scary as any other team because when you got things stacked against you, even if it's not true, but if you got things stacked against you, when guys have nothing to lose or feel like they're playing with nothing to lose, that's scarier than playing Binghamton. And when we played this past weekend, I told, John and MJ, I'm like, I'm more worried this weekend than I was last weekend with Binghamton. And, it's any given, it's like that movie, Any Given Sunday, right? So every week, every weekend is a war, and you just got to be ready.
Yeah, and you always got to be ready. Like obviously, Indiana's struggling right now, but you got to come to play, right? Like we've seen them play teams very closely for periods of a game or a portion of the game. You got to bring it. Like if you don't bring it, it's still everybody's still very good hockey players. Like if you don't bring it, it's
listen,
you could have problems.
You could have all the stars in your team. At the end of the day, there's only one puck out there, right? And it's whoever's hungrier for it is going to get it. And they said the same thing about the Venom last year. There was a little turmoil in the beginning, but let me tell you something. The Venom gave us, I feel, just as much problems as anyone else that we played. I mean, they came in hungry, and MJ was the coach of that team. That was a very hungry, a young team that really, so every team in this league is a threat. No matter, I don't care what records say. We started 0-4, and I still believe we have one of the better teams in the league. It's just sometimes the records just don't indicate what type of team you have.
Yeah, and obviously, I saw part of your home opener, which looked like a sick atmosphere, by the way.
Yeah.
It looked sick. Like even I'm drawing a blank right now, but Port Huron's goalie, very, very, very good. Right, he was very, very good. And a lot of people probably don't know he actually started out in the NHL.
I'm praying he gets called up because that kid is a problem. And let me tell you, I mean, the first two games we might have had maybe combined like 80-something shots. I mean, the kid was standing on his head. Yes. So if anyone's listening out there, call up Reed Cooper. He definitely needs a call up. And no, I mean, look, that opening night, I tell people, and I'm not lying, like for me as a personally, that was as close to a Trasher game feel that I've remembered in 20 years. I mean, that atmosphere that whole week had the same atmosphere of like prime, 2005 Danbury Trasher.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
old school and yeah.
it was electric. And you know what? As much as I don't like certain things, I've always had respect for Port Huron. They got a team that, that to me, and people thought I was nuts. I said at the beginning of the year, I think if Port and Binghamton play a 7-game series, I like Port's chances. I like the way they play. They play hard. You could tell they're very comfortable with each other. They got a good team. We're gonna solve that Rubik's Cube, believe me. But as of right now, they're doing real good.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people don't know. Like Reed Cooper started out in the NHL.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I didn't know that until MJ
Washington
Merkel
Capitals.
told me. But that kid, I mean, you just know, especially at this level, you kind of know when a guy's a little more seasoned. I mean, he just had a look to him, and I knew after the first period. I mean, we stood toe to toe with them to the third that game, but I was just like, we got to get lucky. I said we need some sort of lucky goal. It's got to have to go off his shoulder, off the glass, something. I mean, he was stopping everything. I mean, that kid is and they got a good, like I said, he's got a good team in front of him, which helps. But man, he's something, that kid. He's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's fun. Like I said, it just looked like a sick, fun game to watch and everything.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Last year, I was just an advisor, but I would go to every game essentially home, and you could see that rivalry really developing. And obviously it spilled over to this year, but whenever you see Port on the schedule, it's like Yankees and Red Sox for me. You know what I mean? And it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Are you traveling with the team now or no?
It's so hard for me. I really want, like last year I didn't go to any road games. This year I definitely want to hit Binghamton. I really want to check their arena out. And it's not that far. I'd love to get to Watertown. When I can, it's just with boxing too, it just so happens every time we seem to have like a road game, one of our fighters has something. So it's like I'm trying to balance it all, but I'd love to go on the road, man. I'd love to get out there and see some of the fans out there, but some of these arenas too. I'm just used to Danbury Arena, which is the best to me. But I'd love to. I got a couple on my bucket list, and hopefully get out there this year.
Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely some cool arenas like Athens, obviously.
Athens. Let me tell you, Athens to me is probably like, for a newer franchise. I mean, they're just doing everything the right way. I mean, Garrett Rutledge down there runs a great ship, and everything, their merchandise, their everything they do is good. Hopefully we meet them in the finals and I could get down there then, and we'll go from there. But no, the league has something special down in Athens.
Yeah, for sure. And like another thing a lot of people probably don't know, like Athens has 3 ECHL teams, right? They got 3 ECHL teams, and I think it's 2 NASCAR teams, right? So
wow, yeah.
Yeah, so like to your point, yeah, like they really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the league has something great down
there. No,
they
got something. I mean, the league itself, man. I mean, I've talked to over the summer I kind of reunited with agents from 20 years ago, but also newer agents and advisors. And it's so funny. So many guys tell me, they're like, man, this is the most competitive I've ever seen the Federal League, because in the old days, a couple of years ago, I guess, I wasn't around, they said, the Fed, not that it was looked down on, but it was kind of like almost a guarantee we could get our player on a roster. Now he's like, I mean, I get offered almost daily, and I'm like, we don't have it. We don't have and I had an agent tell me recently, like, we can't believe how competitive this league has gotten. And it's true. I mean, it's great hockey. I mean, nothing's perfect, but I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't see the Southern League any better than the Fed. I say that all the time. Like, I tell people, like, you look at that as a call up. I don't. You know what I mean? I mean, I look at it as equal now. You know what I mean? And I think the Fed is definitely heading in the right direction. And having someone like yourself kind of championing the league and kind of like a youth movement, I think is only going to help the league, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that gap is definitely closing and everything, and I think it's Yeah, I mean, like I think the league is doing so many things right, and like my opinion, honestly, I think some of the wild cards that we see in this league from time to time, like I kind of think it's part of the entertainment. Like I think it works,
Yeah,
like as long as nothing gets, too crazy, like I think it's, you know,
it goes back like to the Trasher days, man. It's like, and that was considered a quote higher league, but at the end of the day, man, you have to give people something to watch. You know what I mean? I know everybody, and again, like I don't want to see anyone get seriously hurt or anything, but you gotta. Hockey is the most unique sport in the world, and it's like you gotta kind of sometimes you just gotta grab the bull by the horns, you know what I mean,
yeah.
and say, hey, let's embrace some of this stuff, you know what I mean? And again, you know what? I've been thinking about this, and I was gonna do this on my own podcast, but I'll do it here. I would love, and I don't own the Danbury Arena, but I would love to talk to our greatest owners in the league. I would love to see if the Danbury Arena can house. Let's do an all-star game between the Southern Professional Hockey League and the Federal Professional. I want to put this argument to bed because I'm a very loyal person and I don't care like if I was part of like a senior league, I'm always going to think anything I'm a part of is the best. Like I want to have an all-star game, just a friendly exhibition.
Yeah.
Maybe you could say no fighting, right? I want Fed League All Stars versus SPHL All Stars, best of 3 in Danbury. Let's make it happen, man. Let's put this argument to rest because you know what? I'm sick of hearing it.
That would be cool. I mean, I think it'd be entertaining for sure. That I don't know if we'd ever see it.
Oh
I
no,
have some ideas of how maybe it could happen. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think anyone. Listen, I'm putting it out there. That's how I've always been in life. I mean, when the Atlanta Thrashers back in the summer of 2005 sued the NHL sued us, okay, because they said our name Trashers was too close to Thrashers, and we were bringing so much bad publicity to the game that they wanted us. They were basically ordering us to change the name, and me and my father actually offered to fly in the Atlanta Thrashers to play an exhibition game for the name, house them. Let's do the same thing, best of 3. We can't just do one game, best of 3. All right, and yeah, man, I'd love to captain that one. You know what I mean? I just love chaos, man. I can't help it.
It would be cool. It'd be a good game. It'd be a good
I'm
game.
telling
I
you
mean,
because I'm so like again, I just if I'm involved with something, I just consider it the best, even if it's not. And to me, I think the Federal League, I think people really overlook it, and that's the only way, man. Sometimes you gotta take it right to some people.
well, it's starting to change too. Like I know even Steve Martinson down in Allen, he said on camera, I saw it. He said on camera that he will not call up any players from the SPHL this year, that everyone's coming from Topeka. If I remember correctly,
Yeah,
I don't have it right here in
and
front of
listen,
me,
I'm
but
not,
I'm
and
99% sure that's what he said on camera, that he will not call up any players from the SPHL. They're all coming from Topeka in terms of his call ups. So like, people are starting to see the value in the FPHL, and
yeah.
it's great to see. I mean, it's awesome.
And
It's
listen,
awesome to
I
see.
want to make something clear. I'm not trying to like talk down to the SPHL. They got great franchises, great players, but I'm just a funny guy, man. And when I hear advisors and agents like, he wants to go to the SP, I'm like, why? I was like, well, what's so much better? You know what I mean? So I'm just a funny guy like that. Like I'm team I don't want to say team Fed because that's different for me, but I'm team FPHL. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, it's like, like I've said it almost every episode, like the league's on an onward trajectory up. It's great to see, it's great to see it. It's great to see everything, expanding. And, listen, obviously it's not without some issues here and there. Some issues that might be getting blown out of proportion, because at the end of the day, a lot of us don't know what's going on, behind closed doors, right? It's like we can either sit, and then that's kind of like the interesting thing too, like with some of the stuff that like we'll see online and everything. It's like balancing that line between, okay, let's look into this, versus like, okay, that's that person's personal issues. There's going to be 3 sides to every story, and we don't have time here. Like, like we're talking about the league. We don't have time to get into personal matters. Like, as far as the league is concerned, here's what we know. Here's the facts. This is it. Now, in terms of, again, people's personal issues and getting all the sides to every story, and this person's upset, that person's upset. Well, who's right? Who's more upset? Who's wrong for being upset? It's like, all right, like,
listen, social media, I mean, we're getting on a whole nother tangent. Like, social media for me is like the gift and the curse. Okay. And I see a lot more curse sometimes because it's like everybody thinks they're a broadcaster now. Everybody thinks that they're like, everybody wants to be in the know, and everybody wants to be the guy or the woman that breaks news first. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to break news about, hey, such and such is happening. I have a reliable source, and
yeah,
maybe you do, but I'd rather be last. First of all, I don't like to talk about business that has nothing to do with me, but I'd rather be last but have the true story than be first and, well, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. So, and we talked about it off air. People love the drama. They love the negative. I don't know. We're sick people in this world, but that's what seems to make people tick. But again, it's you want everybody in this league to do well. You know what I mean? Like, you want I want to be undefeated at the end of the year. I want to beat everybody on the ice, but you want to see all these franchises do well. That's the only way. That's the only way a league could sustain itself. And all of a sudden, if this team has an issue, now your season next year is in jeopardy. So you don't want to laugh at, and I've been there through personal stuff. Like, you don't want to, when people are down, you don't want to kick people when they're down. And, you just hope that things keep moving forward, and, you help when you can.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the way I look at it too, like, yeah, to your point, like, a lot of people thrive, people like drama, right? Like, nobody's immune to that. Look, have I seen stuff on Facebook, related to whatever, where it's like, oh, big problem. Like, ooh, let me look at that, right? Like, we all do it time to time.
It's a great hook. It's a good hook.
Yeah. But like, at the end of the day too, the way I look at it, this league is, anticipating over 1 million fans through the doors this year. And most of them are focused on they want to be entertained. They want to hear about the good stuff. They want to, yeah. So, that's kind of what I'm focused on here. And,
no, it's the same. And I'm telling you, like, last year was really eye-opening for me when, like, Herm had me come in as an advisor last year, and I really just sat back and watched. Because I was pleasantly surprised how good this league was. And I'm not just saying that to say it. Like, I wouldn't get involved with something if it was like some tchotchke thing and this. I'm like, I was blown away last year, and this year's even better. So, like I said, I'm proud to be part of the Hat Tricks. I'm proud to be part of this league, and we're just going to keep pushing as a team. And I know the league's pushing as a whole, and it's just going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about it. We still got to have Herm night.
Herm is 1,000,000%. It's not a matter of if, it's kind of when. And you got to catch. Herm's a funny guy because he's soft-spoken. He's not very confrontational, but he's got a little bite to him, and he gets very upset. Like, after our initial interview, I'm like, hey, Herm, I'm so excited for Herm Sorcha. No. Like, he was serious, but we'll get him. We'll soften him up.
It actually said that was a good Herm. No. That sounded just like
no. I can't. No. We can't have that. I'm like, Herm, why? We're about making money here, right? So it's to me, that would be one of the marquee theme nights of all of the FPHL, a Herm Sorcha night. I'm still pushing for it. You have my word. We're going to figure it out one way or the other. And we'd like you to be there, man. I'd love for you to, come and, a Herm bobblehead night or whatever.
That'd be fun.
Herm deserves some recognition. And, Lee Mazzilli, remember? He said, remember we talked about, I was like, his hero, Lee Mazzilli. So
yeah, we talked about that after the podcast. Everybody at home, they don't know about that conversation.
So, yeah,
and then what you did after it.
His hero, I said, well, what about if your hero Lee Mazzilli told you to do it? And he's like, yeah, if Lee Mazzilli. So I went on Cameo, and sure as enough, Lee Mazzilli's there. I bought a Cameo, and even Lee Mazzilli wants a Herm Sorcha night. So I don't know what's gonna. I don't know. Maybe we could talk to Commissioner Kernan. Maybe if they give us like 10 free points on the standings, maybe we can soften Herm. I mean, there's got to be something. I mean, Herm Sorcher night. I would be so excited. It's not even funny. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all for a Herm night.
It would be epic on so many proportions. But I have faith it will happen. It's just got to navigate the waters a little. We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'll be looking for it. Anything that you want to say here to wrap us up?
No, like I said, I love coming on here. I love what you do anytime. I'm excited. It's been a crazy 3 weeks already, and just excited for the future. And yeah, I mean, for anyone outside of Danbury, we're definitely accepting applications for your second favorite team. So even if you're in Biloxi or Twin Cities or whatever, we are accepting second team applications. So we're looking for as many fans as possible. So definitely get your hat trick gear. And, I understand you got to like your favorite team, but there's a lot of closet hat trick fans out there. We just got to increase that number.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's great when everyone checks out different teams, different, even goes like checks out different arenas and, like that's one of the cool things too. Like even like with the Discord, like, people can communicate and stuff, talk to fans from other, from other places and everything. And, it's really cool. Like when the fan bases interact and everything. And, cause obviously we all share the same commonality, right? We have our own different corners of the room, but we got the same commonality.
No, it's great, man. I love to see it. I mean, we see, opening weekend Port, their fans traveled deep. They had a lot of fans there. It was awesome. I mean, I love it. You know what I mean? And it's just great, man. I'm really excited, and it's gonna be a great year.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. AJ, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it appreciate it as always.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Hey, have a great day, man. Hey everyone. Don't forget to join the Swan Hockey Discord server. Joining is free and gains you access to our podcast chats, giveaways, season pass discussion and help, junior hockey camps and showcase discussion, NHL on Xbox and PlayStation discussion, and more. Join today for free at swanhockey.com. And there it is. Never a dull moment with AJ. Always fun to have him on. And that's going to be it for this week. And until next week, I will see you guys in the Discord. I'll see you on Facebook. Peace.
Thank you for being the best part of this episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass by Swan Hockey. We will see you soon.